Diary, hi, it's Friday, March the 20th, 2020, and I'm making a quick negative review of the Leatherman REV. Now, for sake of comparison and to add to a little story, I've got a few other Leatherman devices in front of me, just to show you that I'm not a sort of Leatherman virgin. I've used a Leatherman since 1990 something, so I'm guessing that's something over 30 years now in total. And I think this device on the left, which is the Leatherman Super Tool, is actually not the original, but it's a clone of the original one I've ever had. So this is sort of 20-year-old plus design. But the point of the review is to review this tool here. Generally speaking, we have a Leatherman in different places. For example, we'd have a Leatherman in the car, we have a Leatherman at home, and for example this Leatherman, which is I think a micro, we use that for ultramarathons, because on an ultramarathon you never know what tools you might need. You might need a knife, you might need some scissors, and this is a very lightweight tool and good for, I would say, an ultramarathon or endurance racing. So we'll take that one out of the sample, and I'm concentrating on Leatherman REV, which costs me about £40 from Amazon. And the reason why it's no good for me is as follows, is that I'm used to having a very strong, thick based steel Leatherman. So these two Leathermans that I've got used to have got a solid side, and as a consequence they're quite satisfying to hold in the hand. The original design is it's got a sharp edge, so if you actually apply a lot of force you end up actually hurting your hand, as I've done so. So I think over the years they came up with a better idea. So this is my Leatherman Charge, is my most fancy current Leatherman, and this is quite solid. So these edges here are rounded, so when you hold them you don't hurt your hands. Okay. But the actual edges of the tool are very solid. If you try and press on them like this, really you can't get much flex. But the thing about the REV is it's made from a single piece of steel with a right angle at the top here to give it some strength. So this lip here is what's giving it the strength. But even so, if you hold it, you can see that you can actually flex it. So I've not actually used this at all to do a single thing. I just got it out the box, looked at the design, which wasn't apparent from any YouTube video that I'd seen, and instantly said, it has got quite a few ends. I'll just show you the ends, that you know what the ends are. Some screwdriver bits on this side, and there's a clip on this side here, and then you've got a primary blade. I'll show that in a second. But you've also got these three tools here. Everyone makes a big hoo-ha about this thing called a package opener. So if you've got one of those plastic impossible to open sort of shrink wrap packets, you can open it with that apparently. There's a bit of a file here which has got a small ruler on the back of it and a bottle opener. So yeah, it's got those tools, that's all well and good, but it just sort of fails on the usability point of view. Hang on, where's Mr. Blade? Yeah, there's the blade. So it really fails on the fact that no matter what tools it's got, to me, it comes with a box, it just feels thin, and it might actually do the job, but it's very unsatisfying to hold in your hand and use. Whereas something like the Charge, admittedly this is a £100 plus item, so we're comparing two completely different price points. It's satisfying to use, and that's where it really breaks down. So I'm going to investigate other Leatherman products up to say about £60, and also the other brand that's of course worth looking at is Gerber. So I'll look at the Gerber range and see what I can get for my £40 in that aspect. But I suspect for a sort of low-end tool that I'm going to leave somewhere for emergencies, which is the purpose of this tool, then I suspect it's not going to be this Leatherman and maybe a Gerber. Okay, thanks for watching, Darry.